Okay, I'll continue here. Um, Introduction. Okay, so yeah. Hello, this is a video series where I question a Muslim who is very intelligent and very good at Al Taqqiya, guarding, diverting, changing the subject, and perhaps lying to protect Islam. So good is he at Al Taqqiya, he never once fully answers the question of whether he'd have a problem if it were reversed and Muslims had to pay a high jizya tax, a high jizya-like tax, until they said Allah was more than one, and they then had to bow down to Las Vegas, just say 3 times a day instead of the usual 5, or risk being killed after the shirk worshipping religion's sacred months were passed. Nor does this Muslim ever answer as to why, or to what the Quran, to what the Torah and Injil are, that Jews and Christians are to use to stand firm upon and judge therein of the Quran with, if the Torah and Injil are not the book that makes people of the book, i.e., Bible for Jews and Christians. Also, this Muslim never answers for it. If it never will answer if you are still innocent if you're not a Muslim. You know, he'll never let you know if you can still be innocent and not be a Muslim. Never answers that. Anyway, this, and I want to tell you something. When I do this stuff, when I read my words, I'll be using this side of my face. And when I read his, I'll be using this side of my face. Plus, I'll be doing a mock Muslim accent. Okay. All right, here it goes. Here, let's see here. So he looks like he is the first one to be talking here. Okay. Yeah. All right, he says this. So, is this message I've showed you some extra beliefs, which Christians add up things like begotten, which are now removed by 30 highest eminent of scholars, backed by 50 denominations. Did you know that there are more eminent scholars backed up by more denominations that believe the Quran was written by a madman? But you wouldn't believe what they say about Mr. Pubba, Allah, or the Quran, would you? I ask you, who gave them the right? God, Holy Spirit, Jesus, Papa. Hey, I just obey Quran 568 and stand firm upon the Injil, believing that nothing has been changed, even before the Badmar Papyrus. Yeah. Quote, they have been changing it according as time has passed by, especially due to change and translation in English language. If it's true, and it makes you doubt the book that makes people the book, then how can you believe in the Quran? Did you know that Uthman burned about 6 different versions of the clear signs, and the original Quran was made up of consonants and no vowels, to the point where virgins can be translated as raisins in Arabic? I would have followed the book. Oops! But what? What to follow when it's not the Injil that Jesus Papa has provided? If the Injil is not the Injil, one is to stand firm upon Surah 568. If it's not the Injil, to judge therein of the Quran with. If it's been altered and changed, corrupting all his words, the Quran says can't be changed nor altered, the supreme triumph, being that none of all his words can be changed, the supreme triumph, then what, pray tell, is the Injil? In the end, I ask you, are you a Christian? If you are, then I've got tons of things to ask, since you encourage the book. Well, according to the clear signs handed down Quran, you are to come to me for my reading, not reciting, but reading of the before scriptures Bible. if you are in doubt about the clear signs handed down, Quran, according to Quran, Surah 1094. So it seems that I should encourage you to read the before scriptures so you don't doubt the clear signs handed down. That makes him kind of mad. He says, he changes the subject to J. Smith by saying, "Brother, your J. Smith doesn't seem to be valid. He's misquoting Quran. Here, have a look at this." He tries to give me the YouTube video where he's supposedly misquoting the Quran. How did he misquote it? Can you put how it's really supposed to sound in English? "I am busy right now." Okay. "But I'll be sure to reply to you as soon as possible." Thank you. "But seriously, cut the crap about the criticism." You mean the questioning. "If you cannot justify your Bible, then don't bother to have this conversation." I agree. "Saying some random stuff about Islam or Prophet Papa without any knowledge is all you are doing." Such as, can you give some evidence for that? "I never criticized for a single time." Never criticized. "But I'll answer you with a big smash." Well, I'm looking forward to it. Then on January 1st of this year, he says, "Here, my friend," "you need to be corrected way too much." You mean answered. "I'll start with Injil. Not many people know Bible by the name." I thought the book that makes people the book was the Bible, or what is the book that the clear signs say it confirms and reminds? "Reason? Because it's been changed from Hebrew to English." Are you saying the Quran is corrupted as well, since it has been changed from Arabic to other languages? And we all know that these so-called Didis and eminent scholars think that they hold the right to change the words and then them, or add them and or remove them, even if the words are different from the translation. How much do you want to bet that the meaning of the cross and Jesus dying for the sins of the world is still in the original Greek and and even in the Hebrew Dead Sea Scrolls? Like Trinity, begotten, who knows how much. The word Trinity isn't there, but begotten is there. So I don't really believe that it's the Injil that was provided by Jesus, Papa from God. If you're right, then what is the Injil that a Christian is to use to judge therein of the clear signs with? Judge therein of the clear signs, the Quran with. What is the Injil to stand firm upon? Surah 568. And guess what? He doesn't answer me. So another time I say, you need to obey Quran 568 and stand firm upon the Injil, where you will learn that scripture to be true about Jesus dying on the cross for the sins of the world, all that stuff. Here, take the same chapter and verse that you provided. 568. Say to them, quote, "People of the book, you have no solid ground to stand unless you establish the Torah and the gospel and all that has been revealed to you from your Lord. Indeed, the message revealed to you from your Lord will aggravate insurgents and unbelief in many of them." Oh, I get it. So you are to stand firm upon the Injil to make you doubt? Is that what you're saying? It's saying? "So do not grieve those who disbelieve." Even though it's old Al who leads on and off the right path as it pleases? Where does it say stand firm on Injil to Muslims? Well, why are you to come to me for my reading before scriptures if you are in doubt about the clear signs, the Quran? Isn't the Injil a part of the before scriptures? I mean, what is the point of obeying clear signs, the Quran, Surah 1094? And why are you, a Muslim, to believe in all the books of Allah or be one who is far astray? Would you like those scriptures? Instead, it says to justify yourself if you are true. Okay. Which you haven't been doing but dodging them by criticizing my Quran or Prophet Papa. How is criticizing Papa by asking questions about him? Or is that criticizing to you? And he doesn't answer me there. So another time, I then say this. What, everyone's guilty, even Muslims? My friend, I think you have some problem learning about equality. It doesn't matter if you are a Muslim or non-Muslim because penalty is same for both who breaks the law. Right, but under Sharia, who pays more in taxes if you don't pull out a prayer rug and stick your patootie near? Law provided by Allah SWT is firm and righteous, so one doesn't become a greater human if he's a Muslim. He just doesn't have his skin burned off or replaced daily throughout eternity in hellfire, true? He doesn't answer me. So then I say, for another time, which is why both of us need to have 3 different versions of the Quran in English on hand. Don't you agree? You were talking about Hadith. You were talking about Hadith, not the Quran, weren't you? If I was talking about 3 versions, yeah. If I was talking about 3 versions of something, I was talking about the Quran. Why do you need versions of Quran? Which is dumb because you only have one Quran by different authors whose translation have different choice of words, but have the same meaning, unlike Bible. If so, how come there are so many different versions of the Quran in English? Shouldn't one be fine? Who has different meaning in Hebrew? Such as, well, where in the Bible does it say Jesus didn't go to the cross to die for sins? When so many Bibles say that he did. And he doesn't answer me. So another time I say, how? If you need to know the original Arabic, you know, he kind of takes it out of order, so it's kind of out of order. I say, how? If you need the original Arabic, brother, I know you have misunderstandings, but to such an extent is sad. Misunderstandings about what? Quran can be understood easily in any language. Then how come so many Muslims say, quote, if you only knew the original Arabic, who am I to believe here? You or other Muslims? But the beauty of it is lost when translated from Arabic to any other language. Do you see how you just contradict yourself? How is it not a contradiction of what you just said? I later found out, he's not talking about it changing. He's just saying the beauty of it changes, which means that, to me, when Muslims say, if you only knew the original Arabic, you'd know that Quran 9:5 about killing people didn't really mean that, stuff like that, you know. He's trying to say now that the meaning of the Quran still is there, so he's going against the Muslims that I talk to. So another time I say, right, but how does fight those until only Islam is the supreme religion, or quote, until they feel themselves subdued and pay the tax jizyah with willing submission? How are those taken out of context? Do you think it's good to force someone who doesn't believe like you to pay a high tax in humiliation until they believe like you? Well, what is wrong with it? You have no problem with that? What if you had to pay a high tax until you confessed Allah was more than one, and instead of praying 5 times a day toward a black stone, you had to instead face Las Vegas just 3 times a day? Would you have a problem with it then? Would you have a problem with that then? If not, how come? Then he tries to change the subject by saying, modern world countries force property tax and income tax in the name of environmental development and protection. True. But what if they were forcing you to pay a higher tax than the regular people until you confess Allah was more than one and say Joseph Smith was Allah's last messenger, and you had to face Las Vegas just 3 times a day with your patootie there. Would you still think that fair? Quote, pay it or jail it. They are firm and forceful, which is not objected. Again, what if you, a Muslim, could pay it less, like anyone else in that country, if you said Allah was more than one, and you faced Las Vegas just 3 times a day in bowing fashion with your patootie there? Would you still think that's fair? And he tries to change the subject by saying, but hey, have a look at what this tax means. Okay, this is the aim of jihad with the Jews and the Christians. Just Jews and Christians? And it is not to force them to become Muslims and adopt the Islamic way of life. Then what is it for? They should be forced to pay jizyah in order to put an end to their independence and supremacy so that they should not remain rulers and sovereigns in the land. Right. And you have no problem with that, do you? Well, I want to tell you something. Thanks for being truthful. Thanks for admitting that. But what if it was reversed, and you had to pay a high tax until you submitted to a God that was more than one? Would you have a problem with it then? Continue to be truthful, please. Now, he takes that and says, oh, thanks for calling me being truthful, you know. So, yeah, continue to be truthful, please. These powers should be wrested from them by the followers of the true faith. And you don't find that creepy or evil, do you? How come? You should assume the sovereignty and lead others towards the right way. Oh, kind of like the Catholic Church did to the Jews during the Inquisition, right? To scare them from hell? Is that what you're trying to say? Right? While they should become their subjects and pay jizyah. Again, thanks for being truthful here. Jizyah is paid by those non-Muslims who live as zimmis, proteges, in an Islamic state, in exchange for the security and protection granted to them by it. Kind of like a bandit who says, hey, I'll protect your hubcaps if you pay me $20 for the night, right? Something like that, right? This is also symbolic of the fact that they themselves agreed to live in it as its subjects. Right, but you'd have no problem with paying a high tax if it was reversed, would you? Be truthful now. And he never answers me. Instead, he tries to change the subject by saying, hey, thanks for saying I was truthful, continue being truthful, and change the whole subject there. So never answers me why. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, then another time I say, I mean, face it, how come the book that makes people the book can be translated to every language of the world, and everyone in those languages know that it says Jesus died on the cross for sins? And I say, face it, how come the book that makes people the book, which has been translated into every language of the world, he's just saying the same thing over again, failed to understand that Jesus never said nor God, that he died for the sins, and some sinful Jews are humans. John 3:16. Not one statement from themselves saying this, which is unambiguous. And also, face this, that Jesus didn't volunteer to die on cross, but he did not resist so that his disciples would not get in trouble. You need to stand firm upon the angel better. And there's no answer there, so then I say this later here. Okay. No, I believe I asked how come the clear signs handed down Quran can't be translated to be understood clearly, like the book that makes people the book, where you don't need to know original Hebrew and Greek to know what it's talking about. I mean, does that mean that the Bible is better to you than the Quran? I mean, to you? Does that mean does that mean the Bible is better to you than the Quran? Since the Bible can be translated without needing to know the original Greek and Hebrew, and yet you need to know the original Arabic to know what the Quran is saying, you know? And then again, we can see how much these so-called people read their book. That makes people the book. Changing the subject. Where you don't know original Arab, Hebrew, and Greek to understand that there is not one unambiguous statement from Jesus that, quote, I am God or worship me. And yet they claim that he is God, but mentioned that his Father is greater than all again and again, and yet such an ambiguity. And yet, through such ambiguity, so many Christians come to believe that Jesus is God. How come? Want to guess? Whereas Quran is understood just fine. That, quote, if people read that, I do, which I don't think many read it with understanding. I certainly agree. I mean, if they read it with understanding, I don't think they would be Muslim. Okay, didn't respond there, so another time I say. If so, then why, according to the clear signs handed down, was it only made to appear that Jesus died on the cross? Or was it that, quote, only made it to appear that Jesus died on the cross when secret, or who was it that made it only make, who was it that only made it to appear that Jesus died on the cross when secretly Jesus was taken up to be with Allah? Who took Jesus up to partner? I mean, be with Allah in heaven if it wasn't Allah? Who was it that would go through all that drama like such? Drama like such. Your lack of understanding in Islam is leading to all such pitiful questions. Well, Allah doesn't reside in heaven, but he has his kingdom above all these so-called as Arsh. Arsh? So Allah secretly took Jesus up to be with him in Arsh? Is Arsh that is guarded by stars in the lowest the lowest heaven, earth atmosphere, like the Quran infers? So I don't know what you are talking about. Quote, Allah taking Jesus up to partner, because it would be shirk, right? Provide me the verses first. Then I'll clear your criticism. You mean my question? You want me to provide where it was, quote, only made to appear that Jesus went to the cross in the, quote, clear signs? Or do you want me to provide where it says Jesus was taken up to be with Allah? Which one? Both? Whatever the case, I bet you have no problem with Allah only making it appear that Jesus went to the cross to create Christianity when stand firm upon the Injil, correct? No problem with that at all, right? And no answering me there. So then I say, what if you burn a Quran in, say, Pakistan? What if you're an elementary school? What if you're an elementary school teacher and you allow your class to call teddy bear Muhammad? You sure there's no death penalty there? No idea, but Allah has provided them with a punishment, and you have no problem with that. Okay. I don't know what Islamic law says about this, but it would just make a Muslim emotional and want to kill, apparently. And emotions are of many kinds: anger, sadness, revenge, agony, etc. Right, but mostly anger and revenge when a cartoon of Muhammad is drawn. I see. Okay. And he doesn't respond. So then another time I say this: you need to believe Muhammad to be saved. You need to believe Muhammad to be saved, don't you? But you don't think that's partnering with Allah to have it to believe in Allah and Muhammad at the same time during the Shahada? True? How come? How come? How come? How is, quote, and Muhammad is his messenger, not partnering with Allah, shirk, when you are in the process of becoming a Muslim through Shahada? Why don't you explore and learn about more about Islam instead of trying to say some pitiful, dumb stuff. How is it pitiful? We believe in Muhammad Papa and also all the other prophets who were before him, like Jesus Papa. Even though Jesus said, pray for those who despitefully use you and love your enemies, you think that sounds like what Mr. Papa would say. And yes, we also believe that you have to believe in the particular prophet who were provided with this word to enter heaven. So at present, until the last hour, it's Prophet Muhammad Papa, who was the seal of prophets, and the walrus is Paul. What about the? How about the Mahdi? Now, Shahada, you say. Why are you so ignorant, brother? Why can't you just study a bit more instead of blabbering? Well, can you be a Muslim if you just say, I testify there is no ilah but Allah, and leave it off the in Muhammad is messenger to become a Muslim? Why do you have to partner Muhammad with Allah and not have it shirk? I'll tell you what Shahada says. It is evidence that a believer says, which means, quote, I bear witness that there is no deity except Allah, to be worshipped and has no partners. And I bear witness that Prophet Muhammad Papa is servant of Allah. Right. So you have no partner. So you have to. So right. So you have to partner Mo with Al, I see. But that's not shirk to you there, right? Now tell me, where are we partnering with Allah? Such ignorance. Didn't you just put Mo with Al to become a Muslim? How is that not partnering? And again, can you leave out of the Shahada and just keep it as only Al to become a Muslim? Do you have to say, and I bear witness that Prophet Muhammad Papa is a servant of Allah to become a Muslim? Do you have to partner there? And no answer from him there. So then another time I say, okay, and it will be true and not Taqqiya. You are making a fool out of yourself, brother. How so? Oh, hey. Yeah, how so? The word Al Taqqiya literally means concealing or disguising one's beliefs, convictions, ideas. Right, exactly. Feelings, opinions, and or strategies at the time of imminent danger, whether now or later in time. So, if you're around a non-Muslim, so if right. So if you're around non-Muslims, act like you are one of them. I see, because hey, non-Muslims, you never know about non-Muslims, right? You don't find that creepy, do you? To save oneself from physical and or mental injury. If so, what is the point of martyrdom? So only in grave danger, and I don't think these speakers have any threat from anywhere, so Taqqiya is not even close. What if it's a threat to Islam to question it? What then? Is your life more valuable than Islam? But we did see that the J. Smith guy seriously, let's say, misunderstood, if not lied, because he said Quran says wine was created by devil, but which actually says wine is used by the devil to lure the faith to the unbelievers, to the believers, to lure the faith of the believers. Oh my gosh, that is a huge difference. Taqqiya there. Oh wow, they're jumping over Jay Smith for saying something like that. Yeah, I can't believe it. They think that means, is that supposed to forfeit everything Jay Smith has said? Wow. Okay, when God became the Son of Man, guess what? It sounds like he did change his mind in one part of the Injil that I'm aware of. Please, brother, why are you being like this? Why are you being like all those who have their own beliefs? Like, oh, I've got to change this. I got to turn this off here. Bye.